The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
We will have, in the first year, an immigration bill that I strongly support.
Broken promises. Most of President Obama's big pledges have come up short. How is the White House planning to turn things around in the new year? Fox's Ed Henry joins us with a special preview. Will Governor Chris Christie's tough guy, New Jersey style play across the land?
Get the hell off the beach.
A new Fox poll finds Christie and Hillary Clinton leading the presidential pack for 2016. Can anyone derail their path to become their party's nominees? We'll analyze.
I don't got time for mooks. I got to pay attention to the kooks right now.
Hold on to your hats.
It's Miller time.
It's the very best of Miller time.
Lighten up, pal.
Caution, you're about to enter the no spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Juan Williams, in for Bill O'Reilly. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. Let's get right to our top story. President Obama's broken promises. He's promised everything, from closing Guantanamo Bay to restoring trust in government. But many of those vows have gone unfulfilled.
I have said repeatedly that I intend to close Guantanamo, and I will follow through on that. What I can guarantee is that we will have, in the first year, an immigration bill that I strongly support and that I'm promoting, and that I want to move that forward as quickly as possible.
Despite those failures to follow through, the White House has a whole new game plan and a whole new set of promises prepared for the new year. Joining me now from Washington with the inside story, Fox News Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry. Ed,
good to see you.
Let's look back a year, February of 2013, State of the Union address, 3 million plus people watching here, 33 million, I should say, as I recall, right. Huge audience. The president promised immigration reform. He promised tax reform. He promised more money for preschool and after school. He was promising even that there would be a increase in the minimum wage. I don't think any of it's happened, Ed. Am I wrong?
Yep. You're right. He had a head of steam coming out of the last election, got reelected, felt like he had a mandate. And so between the inaugural address in January and the State of the Union you mentioned at the beginning of February, those two speeches, he laid out a very progressive and aggressive agenda, and almost none of it has been fulfilled. Why? Well, he would make the case, and his aides do, that there's been stiff Republican opposition to a lot of these initiatives like immigration reform. We can't ignore that. But on top of that, this president's trustworthiness has taken a big hit because of not just the broken promises from 2008, but more recent, after he became president, when he said, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan, period. He put that exclamation at the end. It didn't turn out to be true. That has wounded him, and that is going to demand a whole new game plan from him in January and beyond if he has any chance of salvaging this.
Well, now you make an excellent point, because what you see in the declining poll numbers for President Obama is a similarly close, in terms of tracking, decline in people trusting him, in part because of the rollout of Obamacare. But I got to believe people also remember all those broken promises. So let's look forward, Ed. What's on the agenda? What are his top promises going into 2014?
Well, look, he's going to make a whole new set of promises at the end of January with another State of the Union address, those laundry lists of some new initiatives, some things we've heard before. I think a minimum wage hike is going to be a big part of that. He thinks that's going to rally his base. It's going to upset a lot of conservatives who think, look, you hike the minimum wage, it means other people get laid off because these small businesses won't be able to keep up. And they're also getting hit with new regulations from the health care law, et cetera. And so he's going to have new initiatives somewhat on the economy. The problem is he's going to be pinned down on issues like implementing health care reform. And so what I think is going to be a bigger part of the game plan, what you will not hear in the State of the Union, but what's really happening behind the scenes, is bringing on John Podesta, the old Clinton White House chief of staff and Democratic operative, very close to Hillary Clinton, which is interesting if you look forward to 2016, is that John Podesta is a big proponent of executive orders, executive action, forgetting about Congress. He had to deal with the Republican Congress at the end of the Clinton days. They had impeachment, all the rest. And so what they did was a lot of executive moves. That infuriates conservatives, but because President Obama's done some of that already, I think they're going to do that on steroids, because I think John Podesta believes don't try to work with this Congress that's blocked you, go around it. And so they're going to pile on more regulations having to do with health care and Dodd-Frank and the rest.
Right, but in this year coming up, I mean, the campaign, the primaries are already starting. So he's going to be almost a lame duck pretty early in this calendar year, his 6th year. And don't forget, if you look back to George W. Bush lost the House and the Senate in 2006, so his 6th year in the presidency. Even Ronald Reagan lost, I believe, control of the Senate in his 6th year. President Clinton, he lost. I think he gained, actually might have picked up some seats, but he didn't change control of any house of the Congress. So, Ed, what you see then is more executive action on an issue like immigration. Like, he's promised Hispanics, we're going to do something on immigration. Not go through Congress, but say, here's another executive order on immigration? Is that going to be the order of the day?
I think he'll do both, because you can't do comprehensive immigration reform, both, securing the borders as well as a path to citizenship without Congress, something grand. But I think there are people on Capitol Hill, not just Republicans, some Democrats, skeptical now that as he's changed the health care law on his own, we've already seen that through executive action, they're skeptical that if they pass a big immigration reform bill, that he might not tweak it. So I think he's going to try to do stuff on the margins on immigration, on the economy, other initiatives like that, continue to change the health care law on his own, because he has a Congress that doesn't want to work with him. And so he's going to go out and try to be aggressive, rally his base. You're going to see him on the campaign trail, even, I'm told, before the State of the Union address. Usually they travel after the State of the Union.
He's
going to do it before.
He's in a campaign mode, and we haven't even started the first of the year
because
yet.
The next campaign's coming up. As you noted, he's running out of time, Juan.
All right, Ed, thank you so much. That was terrific.
Good to see you.
Next on the rundown, many African Americans are faring poorly under the Obama administration. That's no secret. Can a new outreach campaign by the GOP bring those voters into the Republican Party's corner?